This is just a brief update on the current tropical cyclone Alfred and its future track. We're not expecting a significant tropical cyclone impact, more so a very weak subtropical low or even a trough. This thing will break down quite quickly as ocean temperatures cool down beyond about Mackay. Looking at landfall around that Fraser coast, the wide bay down to sort of the Tweed area, as a decaying system, weak surface trough. And the reason for this shift to the southwest, despite a weak ridge to the south, is going to be an upper trough that comes in and actually hooks in over it and pulls it in. And it'll work similar to like an east coast low type setup where you get an upper trough and a surface eddy interacting along the east coast here, and then you get those little tight low pressure systems and very heavy rain along the extreme coastal fringe. That's sort of the outcome that we're looking for. And if we look at some of these maps I've drawn, this is the original map for week 1. I've got an upper trough forming from the 1st to the 3rd of March through the southern interior. This should be moving into the east by about the 4th, and that's about when we will see the interaction between the upper trough and what's left of this cyclone, and we'll see that in the next video, in the next slides. And then if we look at the map that I've actually drawn for this event the other day, this shows the same thing. You've got the upper trough. We're looking at landfall. It'd be more of a coastal interaction rather than, a cyclone landfall. So this doesn't indicate a cyclone impact. And I've written that landfall is likely to be a subtropical low or a trough and not a tropical cyclone. Landfall 4th to 7th. Upper trough forms from the 1st to the 3rd, shifting east. This feature interacts with the coastal low, redirecting the low to the southwest along the southeast coast. It's pretty self-explanatory. Eventually, whatever's left of it, if it's onshore or not, either way, there will be a Tasman low to the southeast of the Illawarra from the 10th to the 12th. So that's the general progression. Heavy to intense rainfall for the wide bay south of Illawarra, 50 to 300 mils possible. These higher falls will be quite coastal and localised, so don't freak out about that. And then if we look at the models, every model's got a different scenario, but with the models we can sort of paint a picture because we have a predetermined timeline of events. We can piece together different models to find the right outcome. So the GFS, it's hot and cold at the best times. It brings a low on shore just south of Rocky, just north of where I'm expecting, but still close to that point around the 4th. This is the latest GFS. The ECMWF, this one, it keeps it offshore, but the latest run brings it very close to the coast and brings it on shore later around the 12th. So that's it there. See, it weakens and shoves it back towards the coast. The crossing point's right, which is in that map. These crossing points are quite specific in a general sense, not down to the metre. You can see it's between the Fraser coast there and the Tweed. So that's generally where we want to see that happening, although it's too late. By then, this system should be down here, and then the next model will actually show that. So if we go to the AI model, this model's not as good as people make it out to be, but we can use it for parts of the puzzle. So it doesn't bring the cyclone anywhere near the coast initially, even the subtropical low, but it does show the upper trough here beginning to interact with it. And it also brings the low close to the coast during this 7th to 12th period. And then by the 10th to the 12th, it puts it back in the Tasman Sea as a Tasman low. So this later part of the ECAI is what I would expect, in line with the other models that simulated landfall around this area here. And then we can compare with other models to sort of cross-reference in a bit more depth. So we have this as a CMC. It brings it down. See the upper trough, very important. This is the entire mechanism that does this upper trough. This is the red line. Hooks over it by the 4th. this brings it in a little bit further south, but the same thing brings it down along the coast, and this run ends by the 7th. So this is very close to what is likely to happen. And then you got the nav gem. This one's not very reliable. I haven't actually looked at this run today, but the same thing. It's at least trying to come in towards that point. So there's definitely interest there. And then the upper trough. So they've all got that key component, which is the upper trough, which is critical for this. This brings the upper trough in a little bit too early. So I would imagine this is still correct to a certain degree, just the timing's a bit off. So we want to see this low up higher as this upper trough interacts with it. So this is right, just the timeline's off by a day or two. The icon, this one's been pretty good actually. So we can have a look at this. This latest run isn't. The one I was watching this morning was pretty good. So see the icon, same thing. There's the upper trough, the red line. It'll swing over the top of it, pull it straight in the coast. So that's pretty much bang on where we want to see it. And that's on the 5th. So that's within a day. But we had the 5th to the 7th. So it's within the window. Again, so it's probably within a couple hundred kilometres of where we want it to be. And then that future track down here. So this is the more likely scenario, if at all anything. And with all the models grouping towards this now, this is what you want to be looking for. So if you're on the coast, particularly from the Wide Bay, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, got some mates there. I've got friends and family up and down the East Coast here. Nothing to panic about, just might get a bit windy, a bit wet. It's just like a typical June East Coast low with a little bit of extra oomph. Anyway, let's see how it goes.